Hello everyone. Good evening. We'll wait for one more minute for others to dial in. Sorry, good morning. We'll wait for one more minute for others to dial in and we get started.
Yeah, Prasad, so did you send any link with the password?
Passport is not enabled yet. We'll be doing it later today, or Monday. And whenever it is done, you would receive an email and only the enrolled participants will be allowed into the session today. You don't have to worry. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, because I got the email, but I don't get the password, so that's why I was just checking.
Yeah. Okay, let's get started as I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, I'll go into the I'll log into the application first. And I'll go into the Fusion Cloud application. And within the Fusion Cloud application, remember, guys, I gave you an overview of the navigation yesterday. I gave you the overview of the navigation yesterday, and we also got started with a security setup. Okay, we also got started with security setup, and yes, we did create a user, and we assigned a couple of roles to the user. We did create a user and we assign a couple of roles to the user, right? And what did we notice, guys? So let me go to the security console. Let me go to the security console. And when you go to users, you search for users here. And there's one user that we have created with name as Anil J. And to this particular user, we have assigned employee and a HR specialist role. And what's the behavior that we notice, guys? When we log into the application as that specific user, what is the behavior we notice, guys? Yes, the moment we assign a job role, the moment we assign the job role and abstract role to the user, that user was able to see the screens. He has got access to the required work areas, but was he able to see the data, guys? When we added only employee role, he was able to see only me, procurement, tools, and others. And after I added HR specialist job role, he is able to see my client groups and benefits administration. So the moment you assign a job role to the users, whatever screens that Anil should access as a HR specialist, he is able to see. He started seeing those. He started seeing those screens in the application. He has got access to the work areas. But when he tried to perform the tasks as a HR specialist, like when he tried to hire an employee or when he tried to manage the persons, unfortunately, he is not able to see any data within them. When he tries to hire a new employee, he was not able to see any data in there. Okay. Yeah. When you're going to hire an employee, when you try to pick up our legal employer, he's not able to see anything here. So what does it mean? It clearly means that giving access of screens to the user. First of all, what user gets to see in the application will be controlled by the roles that you assign to the user. When you assign employee role, he was seeing only 4 groups. The moment I assigned HR job role, he started seeing these 2 additional groups. Now tell me one thing, is before we talk about how to fix that data access issue, before we talk about how to grant data access to the users, let's try to understand how adding this job role, HR specialist job role, to the user enabled these groups and pages within them to the user in the application. Okay, so what actually happened in the background? So when I added this job role, how is he able to see these additional groups? So let's understand that particular bit first. So if I open up a PPT, just want to show you one important thing there. Now, see, for example, you assign this human resource specialist job role to the user, right? So we assign HR specialist job role. We assign HR specialist job role to the user. And the moment you assign a HR specialist job role to the user, okay, remember to perform a specific job, or as part of a job, user would be performing lot of duties. Okay, so all of you are working, right? All of you are working. Some of you could be a project manager, some of you could be functional consultants, some of you are technical. And as part of your job, do you perform only one duty, guys, or you perform a lot of duties? Like if you're probably a consultant, you might be working on multiple activities, performing multiple duties at the same time, right? So when Anil is hired by Emerson as a HR specialist, he is expected not to perform just one duty. He is expected to perform quite a few duties. And what is one important duty that a HR specialist has to do, guys? What is one thing that comes to your mind straight away when I say HR specialist? Of course, he should be hiring employees in the system. Yes or no, guys? This is one key duty that HR specialist has to perform. So if two new employees join Emerson, what Anil would do, he would go into hire an employee page and he would hire those 2 employees or 10 employees. And is that the only duty that Anil is going to do as a HR specialist? Only hiring people? There could be a lot of other duties that he might have to perform as part of his job. He might have to promote people. He might have to terminate a couple of them. He might have to change the location of few employees. So there could be a lot of other duties that he needs to perform as a HR specialist. So whatever duties that a job role involves, so remember whenever you see a job role, you assign a job role to the user, that job role that job role internally inherits a duty roles. So whatever duties that particular job involves, all such duty roles would have been assigned to the job role. And I'll show you this in the application as well. I'll show you this security framework in a moment. So whatever duties that a HR specialist should perform, separate roles would have been created for them, and we call them as not as job roles, we call them as duty roles. And you have duties like employee hire, employee promotion, employee termination, and so on. And all such duty roles would have been assigned to a job role. And if you pick up one duty role, say for example, he needs to hire employees, right? HR needs to hire employees in the application. Now, for him to be able to hire employees in the application, should he see when he logs in, should he be able to see that hire an employee page in the application, guys? Yes or no? For Anil to hire an employee in the system, or for him to terminate employee, he should see these screens, right? So whatever navigation task that you see here, hire an employee, termination, personal details, these are all nothing but the privileges. These are, what do you call them? You call them as tasks or pages that you see within the application. These are basically called as pages within the group. And these pages are nothing but the privileges created in the background. Or in security terminology, Oracle has created thousands of privileges, and you have privileges like hire an employee, terminate employee, rehire employee, promote employee, and so on. And those privileges are grouped into duty roles, and those duty roles are grouped into, or a lot of duty roles are assigned to a job role. So if Anil has to play the role of a HR specialist, yes, he should be performing a lot of duties. Hiring employees is one key duty, but there would be a lot of other duties as well. So whatever duties he needs to perform, those duty roles would have been plenty of duties. All those for each of those duties, there would have been a separate duty role created. And those duty roles would have been assigned to this job role, not just one. You will have plenty of duty roles assigned to one job role. And for him to perform that specific duty, so for example, employee hire duty, he should be able to see he should be able to see the tasks in the application. He should be able to see relevant tasks or pages in the application. And how does he see those pages in the application? Those are created as privileges, and these privileges would be showing up as pages within the application. So what's a security framework, guys? You have thousands of privileges created by Oracle already, and those privileges are grouped into duty roles. Okay, plenty of privileges are attached to one duty role, and plenty of duty roles could be attached to a job role. And the moment you assign a job role to a user, that is precisely why what is it that we notice, guys? The moment when I assign a job role to Anil, he started seeing these two groups. He started seeing these two groups, and within these two groups, again, he's seeing a lot of pages. That is precisely because of this. Because this job role inherits duty roles, plenty of them, and those duty roles has privileges, and these privileges are nothing but the pages that you see in the application. And this is the security backbone of Fusion Cloud, guys. And what is it called as? It is called as a role-based access control. So basically the security controls or roles assigned to the user would control what a user gets to see when they log in. Okay, now let me show you this in the application first. So if you go into roles, hold on with your question, Anil. I'll take a logical pause after some time. Whenever the time is right, I'll open it up for questions. Okay, so let me take it to a logical pause first. So I go to roles and I'm going to search for human resource specialist. And I'm going to search for human resource specialist. And if I go into the roles tab here, when you search for human resource specialist, again, you know that there are multiple roles that you see. Why? I'll be explaining it in 10 minutes. But what is the one that you should pick up, guys? Even though you see multiple roles. I mentioned it yesterday, right? Which is the role you should pick up? The one that starts with or underscore.
Yes.
And after you pick up that particular role, after you choose that role, you will be able to see the job role here and you can see the description. So this is a name and this is a role code and it is a description says perform duties of a HR specialist. And if you scroll to the right, you will be able to see that this particular job role inherits how many roles, guys? These are all the roles that are assigned to the job role. These are all the roles assigned to the job role. So as a HR specialist, what is it that he should perform, guys? As a HR specialist, he should be performing all these tasks. He should be able to change the worker manager. He should be able to manage the direct reportees. He should be able to change the person name. He should be able to run an absence case, right? And if you go into role code and if you put in underscore duty there, what is it that we see? If you put in underscore duty, you will be able to see all the duty roles that are assigned to the HR job role. What are all the duties we see here, guys? You have duties to correct employment. You have duties to change the person address and work terms and person assignment. So hundreds of duties are assigned to the job role, meaning HR specialist can would be able to perform any of these duties as per the requirements. And you see employee hire as well here. Okay, so one job role. See, when you hire a person, you hire him to perform a specific job. And for him to perform a specific job or as part of his job, he has to perform a lot of duties and performing and a lot of duties. And let me search for this particular duty. We call it as employee hire duty. So if you search for this particular duty here, employee hire duty. So this duty, hiring employees is one of the key tasks that he has to work on. Okay. And if I pick up this particular task, so for a job role, you have a lot of duty roles assigned. Now, if I go ahead and search for that duty role, if I go ahead and search for that duty role. Now, when you look at the job role definition, Anil, I'm getting a hissing noise in the background, background noise from your side. That's why I've put you on mute. Please don't unmute yourself unless you have a question to ask. Okay, just to avoid the background noise. So when you search for a duty role here, I'm searching for a duty role here. When you look at a job role and when you expand it towards the duty roles, guys. You see what are all the duty roles assigned to the job role. But when you look at the duty role, yes, you should be looking at the privileges assigned to the duty role. You should be looking at the privileges assigned to a specific duty role. If I look at the if I look at the duty role called employee hire duty role, what are the privileges that are assigned to this? You have three privileges. You have hire employee, rehire employee, create user. So for a HR specialist to be able to perform this particular duty, it is one of the duty that he needs to perform as a HR specialist. And for him to perform this duty, he should be able to see these three screens in the application, these three pages in the application. And for him to see these three pages, they have been created as privileges in the background. Okay. So you have thousands of privileges grouped into duty roles, and those duty roles are assigned to job roles, and those job roles are what you assign to the users. And that is precisely how the moment you assign a duty role to the user, they would immediately start seeing those screens. Okay. Yes, Anil, go on with your question.
So two questions. Can you hear me?
Very well. Please go on.
Yeah, you were explaining about privileges, duty roles, and job roles, right? So can we customize those by chance?
I just started off with a security topic, guys. We're going to talk about it for three hours straight. Yes, we can customize it, and we will be talking about it in quite detail later on.
Okay. So that's what I mean. Just a yes, no.
Yes, we can definitely customize it. And we would definitely have to do it as well, because as per the client requirement, right? Say, for example, I assign an employee role to the user. Okay. What did you see? What did you notice when I assign an employee role to the user? He was able to see how many screens? He was able to see almost like, say, 100 screens if you put all these four groups together, right?
Yes.
But does every employee, let's say Emerson is implementing this, right? Or ignore this logo where somebody customized it. Let's say Emerson implemented this. Do you think Emerson wants to give all these 90 pages access to the employees? Certainly not. They would say, Prasad, we don't have the concept of volunteering. I want you to take it off. Certainly possible. How do we do it? We'll be doing a hands-on as well. What's the second question?
Second question, like the screen what you're showing just before, right? So, example, hire and rehire. The one. So can that be part of one page, or it should be two pages always? Because I mean, same kind of an action.
It can be depending on the task, they can be in a single page, they can be in multiple pages as well. So when I say privilege corresponding to a task, it need not be a one-to-one map. Sometimes what would happen is you would have a page like a dashboard, and in that dashboard page, you have a task ribbon. When you click on a task ribbon, you see 10 actions there. And those actions also correspond to privileges.
Okay. That answers.
They can be on usually they'll be on separate pages, but they can be on a single page also. Okay. Now let's go back, guys. If you now, how do I grant access to or data access to user? Now that is exactly where a concept of a data role comes into picture. So what did we do today, guys? Or yesterday, we created a user, added a HR role and employee role, and when we added these roles to the user, how exactly he was able to see these additional screens? We just understood that part, right? What happens when you assign a job role? You understood that. Now, how do you grant the data access? Because when we logged in as that user, when I try to hire a new employee, person management, I don't see any data. So to grant data access to the users, you need to go to a functional setup manager screen, and you need to search for a specific task called manage data role and security profiles. Remember, this is a third type of a role that we are talking about. What are the two roles that we discussed so far, guys? We discussed abstract roles, we discussed job roles, and you know what is a duty role and you know what is a privilege, right? So what is a hierarchy, guys? You have privileges assigned to duty roles assigned to job role is assigned to user. This is a RBAC hierarchy that we have. Okay. Now, apart from these roles, abstract role, job role, duty role, and privileges, there is a fourth type of a role called data role. And what is the significance of this, guys? As you can make out from the name, what are these roles meant for? To grant a data access to the users, right? And how do you create a data role? To create a data role, you need to go into this particular task called manage data role and security profiles. Manage data role and security profiles. And how do you go into FSM screen, guys? I'm going to access the Fusion Cloud instance again. I'm going to access the Fusion Cloud instance link in a new tab. And to access FSM screen, Functional Setup Manager screen, since the logo is pretty big, I'm not able to see this icon, so I reduce the zoom size so that I can see this icon. Under Administration, you click on Setup and Maintenance. Now, when you click on Setup and Maintenance, that is going to bring you into this particular page called FSM, and we will be talking about this in detail when we do the FSM topic, guys. But for now, what I would do is I'll just go into the task ribbon here. I'll just go into the tasks ribbon here, and I can click on search. This is what I was referring to, Anil. You asked about it, right? Can we, on a single page, do we have privileges on separate pages, or do we have them on a single page? Sometimes within a page, when you see the task ribbon like this, you might have multiple privileges showing up like this.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. Now, when you go into a global search, I go into the search page, and what is it that I need to search for, guys? These are the steps that I'm going to perform now, guys. The first thing that I do is I'm going to search for this particular task for manage data role and security profiles. And I'm going to create a data role, call it as UG HCM data access, HCM access data role. And when you create a data role, you need to attach a security profiles. And when we attach a security profile, there would be seeded security profiles given by Oracle called view all. I'm going to attach a view all security profiles to this data role, which means I want a user to be able to see all the countries, all legal employers, I basically want to give him a data to access all the data, view all the data that we have in the application. And after we create this data role, giving a view all access to the data, giving access to view all the data, we assign that data role to the user. And when we log in as that user should be able to see all the data in the application. They should be able to see all the legal employers. They should also be able to access all the employees as well. Now let's see that in action. I'm going to search for manage data role and security profiles. This is a task that you need to search for. And in this particular task, what is it that we need to do, guys? Manage data roles and security profile. You create a custom role. And let me see if we have any role for Emerson, guys. Created with the name as Emerson. Okay. Looks like we don't have anything. I'll assume that we're doing this for Emerson client. I'm going to choose Emerson. HCM data access role. And when you create a data role, you have to choose a job role. To which job role do we want to grant data access, guys? To which job role do we want to grant data access? It is the HR specialist job role, right? So you click on the drop down. And when you search for human resource specialist here. Now, are you seeing this against the same three jobs, guys? First of all, you see that you see two jobs, one without or underscore and one with or underscore. And for the job role that doesn't have or underscore, you have a copy as well. I mean, this is just an exact copy of this role, so you can ignore it. The copy is only given for future reference. Sometimes what could happen is, by mistake, a user or administrator might edit the seeded job role, make some changes in it, and maybe they want to revert those changes, or they want to go back to the initial role. And in which case, they would be looking at this copy to understand what was the initial role definition. So this is like just a backup of the seeded role given by Oracle. But you see that there are two roles, one without or underscore and one with or underscore. Now, why are we seeing these two roles here? Now, the moment I click on OK, now to which job role do we want to assign data, guys? Is it the first one or a second one? What did we select here, guys? We selected second one or underscore. I'm going to select the same second one here and I click OK. The moment I click OK and I go to the next screen, you see a big paragraph popping up. Now, what does it say, guys? This paragraph explains why we are seeing those two roles in first place. This paragraph shows you why we are seeing two roles in first place. Okay, let me open up. This paragraph shows you or explains why we are seeing two roles here. And if I change it to 16, okay. Now, why are we seeing two roles here, guys? The paragraph says another job role, another role. So what does it say, guys? Prasad, you picked up or underscore job role. It says another role with the same name exists and is included in our data roles. Okay, so how many roles do we have, guys? So we have, okay, so we have this role. Okay, so we have two roles with the same name. We have two roles with the same name. And one role has this role code. Please pay attention, guys. This is important, and that is why I'm listing it down here in quite detail. So this is one role that we have seen. So there are two roles in application with the same name with a different role code. So this is one role code that we have seen. And what is the other role code that we have seen, guys? Without or underscore, right? So if you read this paragraph, what does the paragraph says? The paragraph says another job role with the same name exists and is included in a data role. Okay, so I picked this one up, and application is saying that Prasad, there is also another role with the same name in the application. That is fine. Verify that you corrected a job, verify that you selected a correct job role. And what is the correct job role, guys? This is the one, this is the correct one. This is the correct one, guys. And it is just asking you to verify. It is just asking you to verify if you have selected a right job role or not, whether you have selected a right job role or not. Now, it also explains why you are seeing two roles with the same name and a different codes. And it is likely that one role was upgraded from an enterprise job role and other was upgraded from application role in release 11. What release are we using here, guys? What is the release of the application that we are using here?
13.
I explained it yesterday, right? Release 13 is what we are using. Now, when we, okay, so this release 13, Oracle would have upgraded release 11 to 12, right? And Oracle would have upgraded release 12 to 13. Yes or no, guys? Before it came up with release 13, they had release 11. So they would have upgraded release 11 to 12, and then they would have upgraded release 12 to 13, right? And when they upgraded a release 11 to 12 and 12 to 13, there is one, there are two roles, guys. There is one role was upgraded from enterprise job role and the other role was upgraded from application job role. Okay. And the role that was previously the enterprise job role is parent of application job role. Okay. So this is an enterprise job role. This is an enterprise job role in R11. Okay. So in release 11, this is enterprise job role and this is application job role. So in release 11, basically there were two roles, guys. There were two roles called application job role and enterprise job role. Application job role and enterprise job role. Let me save this as well. Okay, so this was an enterprise job role in R11 and this was an application job role in R11. And it's likely that one role was upgraded. So this role got upgraded into R12 and this role also got upgraded to R12. And what does it say? The role that was previously the enterprise job role is the parent of application role. So it is saying that this particular role is a parent of this. Okay, so this is a parent of this in R11. Now, what does it say? It says that create your data role on top of the role that was previously the enterprise job role. So it's basically saying that when you create a job role or data role, always use the previous enterprise job role, which is Aura underscore, not the one that doesn't have Aura underscore. So this is the one that you should be using. This is the one that you should be using, not on the other one, not on the other one. And if you create multiple data roles on top of a job role, so it is saying that if you choose a data role, if you create a data role, and in the data role, if you say, for example, to the user, you assign a role that starts with or underscore. But when you create a data role, if by mistake you choose this job role, since that job role itself, is not assigned to the user, it would lead to data inconsistencies, meaning you might expect Anil to see the data, but he would not be able to see it because the job role that you assigned to him is not matching with the job role that you picked here. So it's saying that be consistent, and whatever job role you assign to the user, and it should be Aura underscore that you should assign to the user, and it is that particular job role that you need to choose when you create a data role as well. And Oracle is also washing its hand off, saying that such inconsistencies are difficult to resolve. It's ridiculous, but that's how it is. In an application, guys, for all the job roles that you see, for most of them at least, you will be able to see two roles, guys. One has Aura underscore, other one doesn't have Aura underscore. First of all, you should use Aura underscore. Now, the second question is, if somebody asks you in interview, why the hell are we seeing two jobs? Why are we seeing two jobs? What should be the answer, guys? The answer should be that yes, in release 13, there were two roles, enterprise and application job roles. Aura underscore was an enterprise role. So the role that which doesn't have Aura underscore is an application. And when R11 is updated to R12 and R12 to 13, both the roles got upgraded into R13, and that's why you're seeing both of them. But ideally, we should be using R13. Ideally, we should be using a role that starts with Aura underscore, which is R13. Is this clear, guys? Because you will get this question in the interview, definitely. Now I've picked up that particular role, and I go to the next screen, and in the next screen, I need to choose. Remember, this is where you choose what data should Anil be able to see, or what data should I make available to HR specialist. Now, what organization should he see? What country should he see? What LDG persons? Don't worry about these terms, guys. Payroll flow, elements. We will be covering all of them when we do payroll module. And when we do global HR setups, we'll be talking about each and every other configuration that you're seeing here. So to keep it simple, you would be attaching a security profiles here, and these security profiles would control what data would Anil be able to access. Now, what I would do is I would go ahead and add the profiles here. And what profiles would I add, guys? I'm going to create a custom security profile. If time permits, we'll do it today. Otherwise, we'll do it in next session. But if I go ahead and search for a security profiles for each one of them, for each of these 9 or 10 options, you will be able to see something called as a view all profiles, guys. So for organization, if I say view all, what does it mean, guys? It means that Anil will be able to view all the organizations, all the legal entities we have. And for positions, I'm also going to say view all. And for country also, I'm going to say view all. What does it mean? It means that basically HR is going to get access to all the data that we have in the application. Let's see if that works or not. Now, what are all these options that you are choosing here, Prasad? We will be covering them as we progress in each of the module configurations. By the time you complete the course, you understand what exactly each of these terms mean. Okay, so what am I trying to do now? We had around 10 or 11 security profiles, and for each one of them, I'm just adding a seeded security profile given by Oracle called view all. And the moment I click on next screen, what do you notice, guys? whatever are the options that we see here, whatever are the security profiles we see here, this security tab, that security profiles tab expands, and you see a train page, and you will be able to see these 11 security profiles here, 11 security profiles. And for each of the security profile, you will be able to see what is the option that you have chosen. But did I choose different options, guys? Did I choose only view all for all the profiles? We have chosen view all, right? So since we have chosen view all, there's no point in going into each of the tab and hitting the next button. So what I would do, I would just hit the back button. And when you read the notes here, it talks about what these profiles are. I would just go into the back button one more time. And in the security profiles, I've chosen view all. I've chosen view all. And what is it that I want to do? I just want to go into the next screen. Yeah, I will not click on the next screen. Instead, I click on review. And when I click on review, I'll be able to see all the profiles. I'll be able to see all the profiles. I'll be able to see all the profiles that I have chosen, view all profiles, and I'll go ahead and submit it. Yes, Amar, what's the question?
Yeah. Can we create custom security profile?
Yes, of course. Yes. And it is very much required. I'll talk about what the problem is. See, we cannot give access of all the data to the HR, right? He should only be able to see if Anil is based out of US. I want Anil to ideally see only the employees working in US legal entity, not in UK or India. That is very much required. But I'm doing it as a step-by-step process. First of all, no data. Then we'll see how to grant access to all the data. Then we'll see how to restrict it based on the custom security profiles.
Okay? Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Now I go ahead and submit this. So what did I do, guys? I created a data role, basically giving access to all the data in HR. And how do I grant this? What do I need to do here after the data role is created? I need to go back to the user, and to the user, I need to assign that data role. What do I need to do, guys? I need to edit the user definition. I go ahead and add that. Data role. This is the one that we have created, right? The data role. I go ahead and add that. Save and close. Now that you have assigned this data role, okay, so since I assigned this data role is giving data access to this particular job role. And if I log out and log in as Anil again, should he be able to see the data now, guys? Let's do a quick check. And we can also open a private window because sometimes the page gets rendered from a cache. We don't want that to happen. Correct. What's the password we set for Anil, guys? It's not the one that is in a sheet, right? It is welcome123 is what I have said. Probably I didn't type in the password, correct? And what do we see now, guys? Anil has logged in back again. And now that we have a data role assigned to his profile, I go into new employee, new person. Let's say Anil is trying to hire a new employee and he goes into hire an employee page. What does he get to see, guys? What is he seeing now, guys? He's seeing all the legal entities we have, right? And let's say Emerson has operations in 10 different countries, guys. Anil is a HR based out of US. So should Anil be able to hire only people into US one legal entity, guys? US legal entities? He should definitely not be able to see or hire people in UK legal entity because UK is taken care by Amar. So when Amar logs in, he should see UK, and when Anil logs in, he should see only US one and US two. See, but why is he able to see everything? He is able to see everything because we are to his user, we assign a data role, and in that data role, we assign security profiles, which says view all, which means whatever data you have, yes, make it visible to the user. But we need to fix this issue because we cannot give access of all the data to the HRs from all the BUs. So if our HR is based out of US, he should see only US data. And if you go into person management screen, let's say if person searches for employee called Curtis, how many employees does he see, guys? He is able to see a couple of employees based out of US, Chicago. And at the same time, is he also able to see an employee based out of New Zealand as well, guys? Here. But since Anil is based out of US, what is it that he should ideally be seeing here? We need to give him access only to the employees based out of US, not New Zealand or US or UK. Okay. Yes, if you assign view all security profiles, and when does granting access to all the data make sense, guys? So probably if it is a user sitting in global mobility team, and if they need to have access, maybe in case of exceptional teams, and they need access to all the data, this is something that you can do. But in usual scenarios like Anil or Amar has asked earlier, ideally HR should only see the data that is pertaining to his legal entity. Now, how do I restrict this, guys? First of all, I want Anil to be able to see only employees based out of US because that is his work region. And also when he has an employee, I want him to see only US1 and US2. How do I fix that? I told the answer already. What do we need to do? We go back and you choose workforce and deployment offering. We choose workforce deployment offering. And we choose users and security. And you click on the drop down and you say all tasks. And here you will be able to see the security profile. So what do I need to do, guys? I need to create custom security profiles to restrict the data access. So for example, I go into manage org security profile. Remember, guys, we were seeing around 10 security profiles, right? 9 to 10. You see all those security profiles here, guys. Country, organization, position, document type, payroll, and so on, or person. Now I'm going to create 2 security profiles. I'm going to create an org security profile. Okay, and if you see, what is the security profile that we have assigned, guys? We have assigned view all countries, right? And if you look at that security profile, view all organizations. If you look at the security profile, in the security profile, what is selected here, guys? View all is enabled. View all is enabled. So that's why HR is able to see all the organizations. But I'm going to create a custom security profile, and I'm going to call it as Emerson org US org security profile. And I'm going to, in this security profile, in this org security profile, I'm not going to give access to everything. Hold on with the question, Sarita. I'll take it towards the end if time permits. Otherwise, I'll take it up on Monday. I'm not going to grant access to all the organizations. Instead, I scroll down. And when I grant access to the organizations, we can make use of organization trees. We can make use of organization trees. And how exactly we can create organization trees and how do we grant access by trees or by classification? We will talk about it in detail in one of the global HR session later on. In one of the session later on, probably in 12th or 13th session, we'll talk about how to create trees and how to grant data access to the organizations by classification or by trees. But for now, I say secure by organization, and I can pick and choose what organizations I want to grant access to. And I want to grant access of US1 and US2 legal entity to the US HR. So I go ahead and search for it, and I search for US1 legal entity. Remember, guys, here I'm just trying to make or give him access to one of the seeded legal entity given by Oracle. But when we do the global HR setups, we will be defining our own legal entity there. So I'm trying to search for a organization here, and it says classification is mandatory. But since I've already spent a few years in HR, I know what is the classification to enter here. But since you're doing it for the first time, you might not know what classification to enter. So when you don't know what to enter, and if it is a mandatory field, what do? You just click on advanced, and in the classification name dropdown, what do you select? You select is not blank. Classification name is not blank. And you search for a legal entity. I search for US1 legal entity. legal employer. And I'm going to choose US2 legal entity as well. Okay, so I've chosen 2 legal entities. So if it is a HR based out of US, to that particular user, I'm going to assign the security profile, giving them access to US organizations. I go ahead and click on save and close. In this org security profile, I've given access only to 2 organizations or 2 legal entities. And I'll also go to person security profile because I also want to restrict what employees HR can see. And I'm going to create a new one, and I would say Emerson US person security profile. And what do I want to do? If you want to display all the people or give access to all the people, you can do that. Or there are many ways you can restrict the access to the persons. You can restrict the persons by type, maybe display only the contractors, not the full-time employees, or vice versa. Or you can display the persons based on manager hierarchy or areas of responsibility. We'll talk about areas of responsibility later on when we do global HR. Or you can also restrict the persons, or you can also control, or you can give access of persons by department, by BU, legal employer, and so on. Say, for example, if I want Anil to be able to see only employees working in a specific department, maybe operations US, I can do so. I can grant access of people by department, BU, legal employer, position, and so on. In this particular case, I say secure by legal employer, and I click on the drop down, and I'm going to choose that security profile that I've created. Now, one thing that I can do is I would search for Emerson org security profile. Now, when I select US org security profile, how many companies did I select in that security profile, guys? How many legal entities or companies did I select in it?
2.
US1 and US2. And I'm creating a person profile, and I'm saying secure the person profile by a legal employer. And I'm attaching that security profile here. What does it mean? It means that Anil would be able to see employees from how many legal entities, guys?
2 legal entities.
2 legal entities. Whatever employees are working in US1 and US2 legal entities would be visible to Anil. Now I go to the next screen. You can click on save and close. Now that I've created custom couple of security profiles, what do I need to do, guys? I need to edit this data role. I'm not going to create a new data role. I'm going to just edit this data role. And for organization and security profiles, I'm going to take off the seeded profiles that we have added, like view all profiles. Okay. So I go to manage data security policies. Sorry. See the data role here. Go to the menu option. I can search for data role, manage data role and security profile. I'll search for this data role that I have created. I'm going to edit it. And what is the change that I need to make here, guys? For those 2 security profiles, for view all, for organization, I'm attaching US org security profile. And for persons, I'm going to attach Emerson person security profile. Okay. So what is it that I'm doing now? I've created a couple of security profiles. Org security profile picked up a couple of organizations in it, US1 and US2. And I created person security profile also based on that organization. And I'm not going to click on next. I'm going to just click on review. And I would say submit. Now you guys need to tell me what companies would Anil be able to see when he goes into hire an employee page now.
US.
Only the US related stuff, right? US1 and US2. He should not see UK or any other legal entity. So let's give it a try. You see the data role is saved with custom security profiles now. Let's try to log in back as Anil J. You go into my client group, hire an employee, hire an employee. Go to the home page. Let me go to my client group. I go into new person and click on hire an employee. And what are the two companies that he's seeing now, guys? Earlier, initially, he was not able to see anything. When I created a data role with view all legal entities, he was able to see everything. Now that I've created a custom org security profile and assigned only 2 legal entities, he's able to see only 2 of them. Now, if he goes into a person management screen, let's say he's trying to update or manage the persons, maybe he's trying to terminate them or give them promotion and all that. When he looks at the people and I search for Curtis, how many employees we have seen earlier, guys? We have seen 3 employees, right? 2 from US and 1 from New Zealand. But how many employees is he seeing now? Only the ones based out of US. Why is this the case? Because we also created a custom security profile for person as well. And when I created that custom security profile per person, I picked up that org security profile that I've created, custom org security profile. And in that custom org security profile, we picked up a couple of legal entities there. So is this clear, guys? Not sure who asked about a custom profiles, but is this clear? Like how exactly the custom profiles, do we create custom security profiles and how it works?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure who raised the hand earlier. Sarita, is that you?
Yeah.
Please go on.
Is it mandatory to assign all those 10 roles?
Yeah, we need to assign a value for each one of them. If you and usually we restrict all those 10 roles, 10 security profiles based on the user region.
Okay.
Yeah, we should definitely restrict all 10.
Okay, and now you only added for 3 security profiles, right? The custom role. What about the others? A payroll element, security profiles. You did not
But those
attach
also,
this
no,
custom one.
you will have to do the same thing there also. But I've just shown you how to do it for 2, so that you can replicate it and do it for other 7 or 8 as well. But other 7 or 8, I didn't do it now because you do not know what is a payroll flow. You don't know what is a payroll element and all that. After we do a payroll module, if you go to that particular screen, all the payroll elements would become payroll related stuff would become easy for you to understand. But that's okay. For now, when you give it a try, right? When you do the hands-on today, guys, either today or tomorrow, try to complete the practice until we have done today. And after that, there is a lot of other security stuff that we need to discuss, and we'll pick it up in Monday's session. Any questions, guys, from anyone? Yes, Devashish. I cannot hear you. Anil, please go on. You have any question?
So can we restrict a user to have access on a page limited to fields? I mean, you showed about the access to the pages, right? Page security and all. But on a page, a certain section for a certain users, also can we do, or it's not possible?
You're saying restricting what section of a page that user would be able to see and all that.
Yes.
A page, see, to a certain level, we can customize the pages. And when I say customize the pages, it also includes hiding a specific field or hiding a region. We'll talk about it in UI customizations. To a limited extent, it is possible.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure who was asking the question earlier, but I was not able to hear you. Suresh, go on.
Hey, did I hear you right? Tomorrow, meaning your time tomorrow, you have no class, correct?
Yeah, whenever we talk about a time schedule, we talk about it in India timings, and the batch timing is Monday to Saturday, 7 to 8 in the morning. Monday to Saturday, 7 to 8 in the morning. Sunday morning India time, there will be no session. Next session is on Monday morning, which will be Sunday evening for you.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Devashish, please go on. Okay, I'm not able to hear you. Probably I'll take up the question on Monday, guys. Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice weekend. See you on Monday. And please do spend some time over the weekend, guys, and try out whatever stuff that we have seen so far. Okay, and if you have any questions, drop me a note on WhatsApp.